Hi. Last week we had muscle memory training. Without it, we won't go far. This week we will go more detail of sketching. The material are pencil on baking paper. We will need two pencils, a HB and a 5 or 6B. Actually, any light and dark combination will working fine. The light one for the first layer or simple sketching. The darker one is for shading. From the photo you can see that we also need eraser. In my case, I will recommend two erasers, the big one for outsider and the small one, the thinner one, for the insider of the object. Our object to do practice this week is a beer. We put the beer at the background layer. Then we put a baking paper on top as the light layer. So after sketching, we will remove the background and use this light layer as our main practice. We call these layers. We practice to use this term. Remember the first week? We practice with our muscle memory for the straight stroke and curved stroke. They are for the first layer and the second layer respectively. The light color pencil for rapid sketching with straight stroke because you can see on the top right image there are many forms combined by the straight strokes. The dark color pencil will be more refinement with the curved stroke. Remember, we have to rotate the paper to make the hand move comfortable. Now, this is the time that we use eraser. Use the big eraser to erase outside area, and then we use the pen eraser to remove the mistake inside the outline. Now this is the tricky part. We got to number the tones. From the lightest could be like 0 or 1 to the darkest could be like 5. After we number them, we take a photo of this picture and use it as reference to the end of the lesson. Then we remove the number from the picture because we're going to sketch on top of them with the number that will make the picture ugly. Let's talk about the shading techniques. On the right image, you can see that there are, at least in this presentation, 12 different ways to do the shading. Actually, they are applied in quite specific cases, but for the practice, we use the 11th, the red square you have on the screen. That's the way that we want to use. That's easiest to practice. We call this 0, 90, 45, 90 degree sequence. This is quite straightforward. We keep rotating the paper to do the lines. Let's look at the top right number. You see that we have number 1, 2, 3, and 4. The shading with number 1 basically is 0 degree. And then we rotate the paper into 90 degrees and do the stroke. You see they will approach each other. And then we turn it again 45 degrees. and then we turn it again into 90 degrees to the previous position. So this is quite simple. The matter of fact, we do the shade with straight line and we rotate it to cross the areas in 90 degrees for the darker tone, and then we keep continue with that. Let's look at the pair we have with the number zones. First, we use a reference, and first we do the tone 2 by the vertical stroke in number 1. Then the number 1, and then we rotate it 90 degrees to do the tone number 3, and then we rotate it 45 degrees to do tone number 4, and then we rotate it 90 degrees from there to do tone number 5. So the idea is repeating that procedure 2-3 times, and we need to also do tone 1 by extending tone 2. So why we want to do tone 2 first? Because in urban sketching we always start with tone 2. The number between 1 and 5 is 3, it's a mid-tone, and we move it backward to the lighter side 1 tone, then it's a tone 2. Why we want to go only to tone 5? Because when we use watercolor, it's never be deep enough to tone 7, so even you make it darker, when it dry up, it will be lighter. So tone 5 is applicable for our case. This is not new, like what we with the muscle memory. So this time we do basically the same with the baking paper for sketching. The idea of this practice is to improve our eye skill. Our eyes can catch the tone correctly. I don't know how to emphasize enough. Catching the tone by training the eye to identify the tone is absolutely important. Without this, later on when you do the drawing, your drawing won't have the depth, and basically it looks very immature. So we need to practice this one for 1 month, and then the skill will stay with you. Last week we focused on training the muscle. This week we focus on training the eyes. We need to catch the tones on the object. This is very important. Without this, the image we draw will be very immature. But for the training purpose, don't worry about the outcome of what you're doing now. You can make many mistakes. You can make it very inaccurate, but it's only for training time. So you will get there as long as you keep practice. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. Thanks for watching. We'll catch up with you in next video. Bye.